can't wait. I'm to college.
Hi, I'm Catherine Diorio, and welcome to Check Please, the show where regular people from all over Chicago recommend and review their favorite restaurants. So this is how the show works. Every week we have 3 guests. Each recommends his or her favorite spot, and the other 2 go check them out and tell us what they think. This week, Police Detective James Winston has been on the lookout for fantastic breakfast and lunch spots for years, and he's finally found one that he says is the best in town. But Realtor Rose Dante says that although the location of her favorite spot is a little hidden, that food, service, and atmosphere make it destination dining at its best. Up first, if law student Martha Jewett could counsel us all on one thing, she says that everyone should try the amazing burgers at her recommendation. She says that for a place where you can really let your guard down, head on over to Western Avenue and stop in at Lockdown.
I basically built Lockdown to listen to Iron Maiden and get drunk every day, and that was basically my business plan. And you know, almost 4 years later, I still get to do that, so I'm very happy. I'm living my dream. The vibe is awesome. That's what it is. It is awesome. It's metal, fun, awesome people, great service, killer food. I'm not a trendy guy. I wanted a metal bar, and I wasn't about to serve shrimp cocktail in a metal bar. So burgers is what we got to do, and I want to do the best job we can at serving those burgers, and I'm going to continue to do that. We have wonderful food, so even if you're not a metal fan, you're going to love our food. So either way, it's going to be a great night. I think that challenges is what I've always done, and I don't think you're supposed to listen to anybody but yourself and follow your own passion.
Martha, you say bar none, Lockdown's burgers are the best in town. Tell us why you chose it.
Well, I'd like to say that Lockdown's kind of like heaven on a burger bun, but when you get to the atmosphere, it's just the embodiment of hedonism in this restaurant. It is loud, it is boozy, and the burgers are just massive, and it is just a spectacle to be inside of there. It's prison themed, so there's prison bars on the walls.
You know something about that.
Yeah, just a little bit. And everything on the menu, it's themed by sins or certain crimes. So there's arson, there's the Green Mile, there's flight risk.
Can you tell us a little bit about the burgers? So.
Sure, the burgers, I don't know where they get that meat. It is just so fresh. It's so fresh and thick. And I promised myself, if I was ever going to do Check Please, I would try the Fat Elvis, because it's intimidating. It sounds like a clogged artery waiting to happen. You have a massive piece of red meat, and then it's smothered with these sweet grilled bananas, but then it's topped also with crispy bacon and this really creamy gourmet peanut butter, and it creates this like bizarre sensation on your palate. It hits everything but spicy, I want to say. It just like explores everything.
Well, Rose, what did you think when you went over to Lockdown?
I wanted to love it.
Okay.
I really did. I didn't not love it, but in this city where you've got the granddaddy of all burger places, Kuma's, they set the standard so high, and I just feel like everybody's kind of trickled down from there. I thought it was okay. You know, they were substantial burgers. They were 2 fisters. They were, yeah. You know, would I go out of my way to go there? I don't necessarily think so, but would I pass it up if I was in the neighborhood? No, I probably wouldn't. I would probably give it another try.
See, it's interesting you mentioned Kuma's, because I also liked Kuma's, but because that was open long before this was.
Sure,
but
yeah,
then,
like they're the granddaddy.
Yeah, but then I also kind of think that Lockdown's less alienating maybe than Kuma's. I mean, Kuma's, you have a 3-hour wait. They're not necessarily as friendly to you as they are.
Sure, I
You get a lot more one-on-one time with your server. She'll suggest shots to go with your beer.
Yeah, that's what we did.
I thought that a burger, really, the meat needs to stand alone, first and foremost. Like, you could dress it up with, you know, prosciutto and all kinds of great expensive cheeses, but if the burger itself is just okay, then it's really just an okay burger with expensive cheese and expensive meat on top of it.
So, James, we sent you, a police detective, over to a prison-themed burger bar. Why don't you tell us about your experience there?
When you go, just say you see the electric chair, and you kind of see the metal bars, you see the handcuffs, like, all right, I'm feeling a little bit home in here. Like, cops are coming in and feel okay. So we got in, music's loud. I think Anvil was playing. So the first thing we got was the dill, the pickles, which I love. Anything that's got fried pickles on it, I'm eating it.
I'm a fried pickle fan too.
And I love the fried pickles. And then we ordered the boned out, which was the buffalo wings. My partner had the chicken, the electric chair, so which was the chicken. And it was good. It was moist, it was meaty, it was juicy. And then I had the 3 burgers, chef
did
special.
the flight risk.
The flight risk.
Yeah,
I
Warden's
had
choice.
the one that stuck out was the Fat Elvis. You know, sweet, salty, and tasty. That was delicious. Then I had the side of the mac and cheese. That was some good mac and cheese. That was some good mac and cheese, and I like my mac and cheese.
Exactly.
Well, Rose, which burger did you get when you were there?
I
Or
got
what
the
was
punk bitch. I love the names. I do love the
love
names.
the names.
I
names are
enjoyed
great. The
ordering.
names are
I
great.
like my girlfriend got the conjugal visit, and she's really kind of a timid person, so she was like, "I'll take the conjugal visit." So the names are really inventive. The burgers are very innovative. I just felt like I needed more taste, I guess.
And Martha, they have a great selection of beer. I think they have 12 to 13 on draft, and then another 150 plus bottles.
Huge tab. The beer menu's double-sided. It's huge. And that's the thing, too. I have a lot of friends that are gluten-free now, and they have like 4 or 5 different ciders you can pick from even.
Right.
If you get certain kinds, some of them will say like, oh, we'll drop a shot of gin in there. That might taste really, or that tastes really good. Or they'll say, this tastes great with such and such burger. Have you had the pulled pork with this certain beers? Things like that.
Our waitress was really nice because we were like, well, we love craft beers. So it was, can you kind of recommend some beers? She recommended the wheat and the green line. I've had the green line before, but the wheat, and she was like, oh, this goes really good with this. This goes, sounds good. We'll take those.
Yeah, the whole experience is just kind of, it's a spectacle. So it's extremely loud. They have, there's usually Metallica or Iron Maiden full blast. I swear there's
I
no.
was on Scorpion night. I was singing. I was having a great time.
Everyone's really attractive in this like sort of edgy, you can't really take them home to mom kind of way. And they're
Father's
all,
worst nightmare.
Yeah, they really are. But I mean, everyone's just, a lot of the times when they're taking your order, they'll sit down at the table with you if there's an extra seat and just sort of chat and like kind of just make you feel like you're at the bar, you're here to drink with them. And if you're not taking shots, they're going to do it without.
So who is there? So while you're sitting there drinking your beer, looking around,
It's a mixture of people. We saw people older than me, people younger than me, tatted, not, and you go you want to get a good burger, have a good time. I think it's a perfect spot. Like I said, I would bring my daughter. She's 17, and she's going to be taking food home. You're definitely going to take food home.
Martha, you chose Lockdown. Sum it up for us.
It's just a great place to just relax and just sort of let loose, get a little wild, have a couple drinks, and have one of the best burgers you'll find in the city.
Great. James
Good food, big burgers, come with an appetite.
and Rose, sum it up for us.
Good vibe, decent burgers, but there's so many others in Chicago that I prefer, so it's just okay.
You can try the Fat Elvis Burger and more at Lockdown, 1024 Northwestern Avenue, 773-451-5625. Open for lunch and dinner every day. Reservations are not accepted, and the average tab per person without drinks is $15. James Winston knows that you can get a great dinner all over Chicago, but finding a fabulous breakfast and lunch spot is a little trickier. And that's why he says you should go just south of North Avenue and follow him to Kingsbury Street Cafe.
When people come to Kingsbury Street Cafe, they can expect really good food, good service, great ambiance, and a whole lot of family love. I'm in the front house of the kitchen, and my sister is the pastry chef and the general manager. You can always find my mom in the back kitchen, either making fresh baked bread or making giant meringue clouds. I don't think she missed a day of work in her life. We keep it very simple here, and with the decor, it's just very clean and simplicity, and that just also goes along with our food. The favorite thing about my job is to come to work every day and to work with my mom and my sister. I think that's a lot of things that people, don't have, and we have that. I'm very honored and humble when people come up to us and they tell us how good the food is. My mom and my sister and I, we work so hard, and there's so much passion and love in what we do that to hear that it's very rewarding.
James, you say Kingsbury Street Cafe always puts a smile on your face. Tell us why you chose it.
Being a cop, we know food. That's what cops live for. We live to eat. When you're on shifts, like the first thing you think when you get to work, where we eating? So it's one of those spots that you don't even know about it, and then you walk in, and the ceilings are huge. It's very open. It's very airy. The first thing that hits you is you see the muffins, and the cakes, and the scones, and the cookies, and you go like, okay, this is gonna be okay. And I mean, they're thick. I mean, it's not like a small cupcake. They're huge cupcakes, and you go like, is this for one person or is it for two? And the wait staff is very friendly, very nice. They're very knowledgeable on the food. The food is very fresh. Huge portions, and cops love huge portions. That's what we live for. We want the bang for our buck, and if we can take something home or the belly's gonna be full, we're there.
So Martha, tell us what you thought about it.
So I was actually surprised because, like you said, it's sort of like it's inconspicuously located, and we're driving by, and first thing my friend looks out the window, she says, "Oh, it's the place next door to the strip club," because there's a strip club right next door. And so we're
gotta eat too.
Exactly.
the interesting thing was I noticed that Wednesday that they recommended reservations. The only time they had available for us was like 9:30. So my friends were thinking like brunch on Sunday, roll out of bed, meet somewhere, get a little Bloody Mary, kind of like relax and sit and chat. So it's a little bit more, I would say, of like a formal kind of sit-down sort of place, or at least maybe on the weekends more so. But the food was good and bad, mixed reviews. My entree wasn't that great. Everybody else's was phenomenal. My roommate had the salmon hash.
The salmon hash is
oh my
good.
Gosh.
That is to die
They
for.
don't
That is
skimp on
really
the
good.
fish either.
No, they do not.
They really don't. And
Yeah.
it's like the two perfectly poached eggs on top of these potatoes, and it's just like, it was amazing. So I ended up eating most of his. I got the shrimp egg white frittata.
Oh, that's my favorite thing.
Really?
That's my favorite thing on the menu.
It wasn't for me so much. But we tried the chia seed pudding, which was very interesting. It's almond milk and chia seed. It turns out I kind of looked into this a little bit just out of curiosity. It's like a reaction that if you let chia seeds sit, it kind of makes this
expands.
this weird thing. So half the table thought the texture was weird. My roommate and I just loved it. It's like, it was like superfood. It felt really like refreshing. They give you agave nectar to put on it, fresh fruit, really good.
The owners, it's Rose and Monique Duong and their mom, and they're from Vietnam, and they were actually refugees that came over, and they have been in the business. So when you guys are talking about the pastries, yeah, for over 25 years, the mother worked for Wilton, bakeries here, and then the daughter Rose, actually, who's kind of in charge of the kitchen, was the chef at Oprah Studios. And so that's why she got into making like the chia, pudding, because a lot of people there wanted to go vegan, wanted to be healthier, and so it's interesting. Well, Rose, so tell us what you ordered then.
I have 2 words: lemon pancakes.
Oh, yeah.
I swear I could jump in that plate and just live there forever. They were so good. I would go back just for that. Honest to goodness, I would go out of my way just for that.
Try the French toast, the chocolate covered
Oh, I'm
French
going back
toast.
for sure. Absolutely.
If you love ham, if you love bacon, try the moo oink sandwich.
Okay.
Which is eggs, ham, bacon, on ciabatta bread with the little potatoes. See,
I did have the potatoes because I ordered also
They're really
the Kingsbury Street breakfast. We also did buttermilk pancakes to get a baseline as well for their pancakes. It was all fantastic.
the one thing I noticed about when you go on the weekend for the brunch menu, because the brunch menu is a little bit different than the breakfast menu because they add more things, and they'll also have specials. Like one special they have is the chorizo chili quiles.
Yeah.
And
One girl
it's
tried
a
that.
huge plate.
It's like breakfast nachos.
It's
or
like
something.
breakfast nachos.
We did split a couple appetizers. We had the deviled eggs.
The deviled eggs
whole
are
table split
good.
them. Oh my gosh, they're great.
With
a
the
little bit of
chorizo,
yeah.
chorizo and bacon, if you have that on there,
Oh,
you
they're
got
great.
me.
They're
That
so
is
great.
spot on.
Bakery, you're not even kidding about that. That's like It was awesome. Every single
Yeah.
person at the table took something
Took
home.
something home.
Yep,
You're
for later.
gonna take
Yeah, apple
something home.
turnovers. The
Yeah.
cupcakes are like the size of your head. Yeah.
Huge and fresh.
Yeah, and we asked the waitress about it too, and they make it all on site.
I thought the place itself was awesome. It was clean. It was very open. It made my OCD very happy. All the straight lines. I was like, oh, I'm so happy here. It was fantastic though. The service was outstanding.
Yeah, it's very casual. We usually sometimes come in there after running our training runs. So we'll go in there and have the first thing we all order is Bloody Marys and mimosas.
I told him he has my heart. He
Mimosas
goes
are-
and trains and then gets a Bloody Mary.
Well, you gotta have a
Mimosas were
refresher.
Love this
excellent.
man.
You never go wrong with a Bloody Mary.
Tell us a little bit about the cocktail menu. They have that big chalkboard. And
They'll have different combinations of fresh juices. Then you can also get it mixed, like it'll be a mango banana or
Drop a
something.
shot of vodka
And
inside.
drop a shot of vodka in it. Can't go wrong. Vodka always goes good with something too. And they're like, we'll add a premium vodka to it.
well, James, you recommended Kingsbury Street Cafe. Sum it up for us.
Great food, airy, hidden spot if you didn't know it was there. Gotta go.
Great. Martha?
It's definitely a nice little breakfast gem. I'd say I would take my family back there and kind of test out that cocktail menu.
And Rose?
It was fantastic. The service was excellent. The food was fantastic. I would go back, absolutely.
You can try the lemon pancakes and more at Kingsbury Street Cafe, 1523 North Kingsbury, 312-280-1718. Open for breakfast and lunch every day. Reservations are accepted, and the average tab per person without drinks is $18. Rose Dante loves to explore Chicago, but when it comes to her selection, she stays pretty close to home. She says that if you want a fantastic spot that would class up any neighborhood, swing on over to Central Avenue and stop in at the Portage.
I think the Portage is, what we hear most often is we're that hidden gem. We're that place where you love to tell your friends about it once you've been here. Our menu is pretty much, there is a bold, simplistic approach to our menu. Some of our signatures are bacon wrapped dates. We have a wonderful crab cake, delicious sear scallops, a candied braised short ribs. So it's things that you have heard of and know what it is, but just done in a way that is a couple of levels up. The neighborhood has really, really embraced us and taken us in as sort of their own. When they have guests in town, families in town, they love to come here just to show off that, hey, Portage Park has a restaurant that they're proud of. That's the biggest thing.
Rose, you say the Portage is just about perfect. Tell us why you chose it.
The Portage is a little bit of fine dining in a obscure neighborhood with wonderful service, excellent food, and you just feel like you're at home there. Absolutely fantastic.
So tell us a little bit about what kind of food you're going to expect to find at the Portage.
You can find a burger and duck fat fries, or you can find a short rib candied, no, I'm saying it wrong.
Candied braised short rib.
braised short rib.
It is a mouthful.
Over goat cheese grits. That, you get such a big spectrum of food there, and you could find anything there. Fried chicken too. It's fantastic. It really is fantastic.
That you get there and you go, okay, I'm gonna get the fried chicken, because I asked the wait staff, like, if you ever, Jesse,
He's the best.
He is the best.
I love Jesse.
Oh my God, he knows his food. He was like, try the fried chicken. Okay, I'm thinking I'm gonna get a breast and a drumstick. I had half a chicken. And then, of course, there's bacon, because it's the bacon fat gravy on the mashed potatoes. They made that chicken perfect.
So Martha, when you went, what did you order?
The table we shared a couple things,
Okay.
which was actually kind of turned out to be interesting. So we went and we tried to sort of course ourselves or kind of like get some entrees or appetizers and just do it at our own pace. Wasn't allowed. I mean, he was polite about it, but it was really like constrained.
Okay.
And so automatically we were just kind of like, we wanted to sort of lounge and take our time, but we ordered a couple of things to share. My boyfriend and I shared the pork belly. I feel like pork belly's popping up everywhere now.
Yeah.
And so,
It's a new bacon, right?
yeah.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, the presentation is really quite beautiful. It's like layers upon layers in this nice little thing, but I kind of felt like maybe they're putting a lot into these ideas just to have this complexity, but at the same time I feel like they're not considering maybe the palate or the quality of the protein as much. And I think it gets a little bit lost in this package that they're selling you. I will say it's the beer selection was awesome. It's very small beer menu, but it's like extremely smart, and it goes from dark to light, and they do a great job with the cocktails there. My dad
Yeah.
loved that he asked, what kind of bourbon do you want in your Manhattan? Because that's such a nice touch to be able to have.
Amy, the bartender there,
pick.
is fantastic.
Yeah, the cocktails
She
are
comes
great.
up with a lot of her own cocktails.
They were very accommodating, very
Yeah.
friendly. Everybody was in there, was talking. They were having a good time. They were eating their meals. It was not loud, but you could tell everybody was enjoying what
was
they
a
were
good vibe,
eating. There
yeah.
was a good vibe in
Yeah.
there. You would not know this place if you didn't. Somebody didn't tell you.
And
like,
that's how I found it.
Wow.
Somebody told me about
Yeah.
it, and we went there.
Yeah.
There was one of the things that we had Thumbelina on it. We were like, "What is a Thumbelina?" So you don't feel intimidated by asking
Asking
that.
what it is.
Yeah, you know,
Well,
it's
you
a
can tell
teardrop
that they
carrot.
eat
You know,
it, which
yeah,
is-
absolutely.
And
Yeah,
they have that herb garden on the
upstairs,
roof as
yeah.
well, so they
Yeah.
have fresh herbs for all the
Because I
drinks
love the
and
crab cakes
food.
up in there. I used to live on the East Coast, so what I loved about the crab cake was it was breaded, but it was a lot of crab in it, and it wasn't like all this
Too much
breading.
filling,
It
right.
wasn't too much filling, and you're like, this is really, really.
I was shocked
good.
by the seafood too. Our entrees, my parents, my boyfriend, were just kind of less impressed with the entrees, but we had the mussels to start.
Fantastic.
They were amazing. I was so
Fantastic.
impressed by the quality of the seafood. You know,
Seafood,
it's
yeah.
landlocked in Illinois.
Yeah,
it
they
was
are.
really good.
That's their special, I think, on Thursdays, and I'll go there just for that. That and a couple glasses of wine, I'm good to go.
Did you have the dessert? I love creme brulee, and the creme brulee, if you can't tap it and it cracks, I'm like, oh, okay. Tapped it, like, oh yeah.
Good
That's
stuff.
that's some good creme brulee. Nice crust on it.
Is this the typical restaurant for this neighborhood?
No, not at all. Not at all. Portage Park is really up and coming. This is the kind of restaurant you'd find in Andersonville or North Center, and I love those areas, and I love going over there to check places out. But for me, to have something like that in my backyard, bonus.
It does kind of seem like a little island oasis in the middle, because
Yeah.
you won't find anything like that in like a 5-mile radius. Because
No, right.
Yeah.
when I was in high school, I had a proclivity to date like St. Pat's boys. So I was
You were over there a lot.
yeah, I was always in the area, and I remember when it opened, it was just sort of like, I mean, you're in a sea of Polish buffets, Italian places, and some walk-up beef stations. So it really is like a nice little pocket, and it's just, you get the feeling when you're in, it's like an intimate
Little
patio
place,
that you
yeah.
can sit in.
Exactly.
You kind of go
It's very
like,
small.
wow,
Yeah.
I didn't know this little nook spot
Yeah,
right here. And then
exactly.
you go outside
Yeah, it
like,
built a lot of privacy. back
yeah.
there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very nice.
Rose, you chose the Portage. Sum it up for us.
It is a casual, fine dining experience, and the only thing that's better than their awesome service is their phenomenal food.
And Martha?
It's a nice little oasis retreat for the neighborhood. I would say it's on the pricier side. So if you're gonna go for that much money, I sometimes would recommend sticking, if you're in the city, to stick in the city.
And James?
It is a hidden gem in Portage Park. You gotta go. Nice place, good food, and great service.
You can taste the fried chicken and more at The Portage, 3938 North Central Avenue, 773-853-0779. Open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Reservations are accepted, and the average tab per person without drinks is $35. So, on this week's show, we featured Lockdown on Western Avenue, Kingsbury Street Cafe on Kingsbury, and The Portage on Central Avenue. Let's recap what our guests had to say. First, we stopped in at Lockdown in Ukrainian Village. Martha recommends it for a fun time and the best burgers in town. James appreciated the size, creativity, and flavors of the burgers. Rose liked the vibe, but has had a better burger elsewhere. Then, Then we went to the near north side and tried out Kingsbury Street Cafe. James recommends it because the airy atmosphere and fresh foods keeps him coming back time and time again. Rose enjoyed her breakfast and thought the lemon pancakes were to die for. Martha said the food was hit and miss, but she'll be back to test out the cocktail menu. Lastly, we popped in at the Portage in Portage Park. Rose recommends it for a fine dining experience in a neighborhood environment. James said the service was exceptional and loved every bite. Martha thought the food was just okay, but that it's great for the neighborhood. Join us next week for 3 new guests recommending 3 of their favorite restaurants, right here on Check Please. I'm Catherine Diorio, and I'll see you then. Cheers, guys.
For more information about the restaurants featured on Check Please, go to WTTW.com/checkplease.